Well, good Monday afternoon for the second time. I'm going to do a second live. Just real quickly, I was talking about what are you tolerating and picking something and then having some fun with making that change without trying to force that thing and making it a big deal. Again, as I was sharing earlier, is the more we complain about something, the more we see something as a problem, uh, the bigger we make it, the tougher it is to work on that thing. One of the best things that you can do with any issue, any challenge, any objective, any dream or goal, project, anything, is find some way to have a nice, light, playful tone and approach and attitude, especially if it's something really juicy that you'd really want to see happen, or something where you really feel like you need to make a change in order to get right with things. So I was just talking about that in the past live, and I want to just do a second quick live here on one element of what I was talking about, finding the groove, finding the rhythm as you're doing your doing. So just think about this for a second. There is a rhythm and flow to every single element in life, without exception. From the seasons, from planets revolving around the sun, to the cycles and patterns that we live by on a daily basis. We have circadian rhythms that our health and well-being are dependent upon. And I don't know if you're aware of this, but let me just share a quick little thing about how, circadian rhythms, or, our heart has a particular rhythm, our breathing has a particular rhythm, the chemical changes in our body all have particular rhythms, patterns, and cycles involved with them, right? So one way of looking at health, and it's pretty uncommon to view health this way, but think about this for a second. If you view your health in terms of coordination, having all the systems in your body in sync, think about like individual players in an orchestra. And if they all come together in sync, in flow, then beautiful things happen. So I want to suggest that the same thing can happen with your body, that our health is dependent upon the proper synchronization of the different processes in our body. And here's a cool thing. The conductor for the synchronization of everything is the sun. Now, the sun puts out these light rays, and there's lots of information within these rays. And as your eyes are looking up at the sun, one of many things that the body is able to pick up on through just the light waves hitting the eye, going to the back of the eye, hits the rods and cones, gets into the optic nerve, goes to the optic chiasma, gets processed in the mind, blah, 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 and then it projects that information that's been interpreted into the movie screen in your head. By the way, you've never seen anything outside your head before. Anything that you're seeing is the sum total of the processing of the waves coming in, and then the movie screen's inside your head. It's a wild thing to consider. You've never seen out here. You've only seen a representation of light waves into electricity waves, and then processed by the mind, and then it interprets it, and then it puts it on that movie screen inside your head, and that's what you're seeing. You're not seeing what's out here. Little segue, interesting thing to note. It's pretty trippy if you really get this. So back to circadian rhythm. So when you're looking up at the sun, there's the light rays are coming through, and the body can tell the season, the time of day it is, and that kind of thing, right? And then it bases its chemical reactions, like melatonin and serotonin, the sleep-wake, within the sleep-wake cycle, and a whole host of other things get triggered and coordinated through just one signal from the sun, light. It's the master clock. And there's a master clock in your mind that will, what's called entrain. And I speak of entrainment. Entrainment is the coolest damn principle in this world. It's where one rhythm or pattern gets locked into another. And it's built into nature. Things want to get coordinated, in sync, in rhythm, in flow, because that's when movement happens, growth and expansion, coordination happens. Things, systems are all coordinated through this magnet that pulls waves together. It's called entrainment, E-N, in the word train. The most important magical phenomenon that you could ever learn about. So as I'm looking at the sun, light waves are coming in, my mind will entrain. It will duplicate that wave coming in to get the information, because when you entrain, you're in sync. And when two waves are in sync, vibrating at the same frequency, they get to connect. Okay, and whatever was on one wave gets transferred to the other. Like the waves from outside from the sun come in, and then they entrain with a wave that the mind duplicates. And then the information from the sun gets to be transferred to the wave receiving the information within the body. And that sets up coordination of everything. And studies have shown not only are your sleep patterns affected by it, but your microbiome, the gut and your bacteria are affected by your sleep patterns, the food that you put in, the thoughts that you have, stress levels, all that kind of stuff. But it's also coordinated fundamentally through entrainment, coordinating through the master clock in the mind, connected to the master clock out there. Pretty wild stuff. So finding the groove has a deep meaning to it, and is absolutely fundamental. So you can find the groove to anything, including your goals, including your to-dos for the day. If you get into the groove, by definition, you get into sync. When you get into sync with something, by definition, you're going to be moving, growing, expanding. You're going to be getting things done, and your performance is going to be at its highest level. The amount of effort will be at its lowest. When you get into sync and in rhythm, things happen, and there's no effort needed. Even in massive action, there's no effort, push, willpower, discipline, nothing. It's not needed. If you are in sync with the rhythm of your day, that rhythm can carry your day. When you are in sync playing music, that carries you through the song. When you're performing, when you're singing, when you're dancing, it's the coordination of those rhythms, like an orchestra, that your mind and body will listen to the music or the other musicians, and it will entrain, get in sync and in harmony. And that's where the connection occurs. And that's when you hear beautiful music coming from, say, an orchestra of 100 musicians or whatever. How is it that they're able to get connected and in the groove? And isn't it amazing what happens when we do get in sync? This is a very, very important topic, and it's got huge implications for the quality of your life and getting your done, and being able to create at your highest level, be able to perform at your highest level, and just to, in general, to be able to do your day with the least amount of stress, wear and tear, worry, fears, doubts, and pushing, shoving, all that kind of stuff. You want to minimize that. You want to increase the quality of your daily living, and maybe even enjoy the hell out of it, like no matter what you're doing. Then all I want you to do today is pay attention to your rhythm. When you're walking, when you're doing the dishes, when you're typing things out, no matter what you're doing, just notice the rhythm. Notice if you're rushing. Notice if it feels like hard work as you're doing it, because if it feels like hard work, there's a push involved and you're not necessarily in sync. Like I said, you can get massive work done with a lot less energy expenditure if you're doing it in rhythm. Think about people working in the fields. What they sing with music, they sway to the music. It makes life easier and even more enjoyable. So find the groove in all the things that you do. And that might not be such an easy concept to translate, but just check in with yourself. And notice that, by the way, you don't have to try to get into sync. If there's nothing getting in the way, you will naturally find the rhythm of things around you. So find the groove in all that you do, whether your daily to-do activities. Find the rhythm. You can feel it. It might be a little strange to think along these lines with your to-do list and whatnot. It's like there's a rhythm to doing the dishes. Yes. Yes. And you can have fun with the rhythm. Do the dishes like I was saying in the past live. Do it to the swing of your body, to the music, the rhythm. All of a sudden that menial task becomes enjoyable. And guess what? You can get doubly, triply effective in your doings. Let's say you've got some creative idea that you've got to come up with, or a solution to a problem that you're working on, right? Well, did you know that rhythm can help deliver that solution easier? Ever think about that? It's true. If you can work on a problem, then you let it go, and then you go drum, go dance, go for a nice walk, juggle, anything with repetitive movement that involves a rhythm. That rhythm in of itself, even though you're not thinking about that problem or that creative thing that you're looking for, right? You're not even thinking about it, but your mind is in the back. And when you're in rhythm, things get coordinated, and it makes it easier for ideas that the mind's working on to come out. Again, and maybe another strange thing to consider, but rhythm can help you not only get into flow, but it also helps you to connect to the ideas in the back of your mind that it's been working on. So one of the best ways that you can come up with a solution to a problem is to work on it, know what you want to see what you want to see done, and then let it the frig go. Let it go. Forget all about it and go do something mindless. The more mindless, the better. And if it could be something in rhythm, better. It is the rhythm itself, no matter what the activity is, it's the rhythm itself that can act as a connector to the thoughts inside your mind below the surface to having it come out to the surface. So work on something, put your mind to task, ask it a question, write it down, state an intention, whatever, and then let it go. Don't keep working on it. Don't keep figuring it out. You can do that, but that's a harder way to do things. Use rhythm. It can be your best friend, and it feels good. So I want to do a second live today talking about that one element, finding the groove. And again, it's easy if you're finding the groove with music, right? But can you find the groove to the rhythm of your day? And notice if you're pushing and rushing, or if you're resisting and holding back, you're going to lose the rhythm either way. So kind of a weird topic, but really powerful if you start playing with this stuff. All right, now I got to go. Be off. Have a good day. See ya.